thing we have to fear is
in war,
fear itself.
there is no substitute for victory.
Let us never negotiate out of fear.
We stand undivided, forever united, fighting hand in hand for the liberty we burn, for glory and honor, for our sons and daughters, ever mindful of the lessons we've learned. Let the torch of freedom burn.
Welcome to the intersection of faith and politics. This is WallBuilders Live. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Rick Green here with David Barton and Tim Barton. And yesterday, guys, we talked about Christmas, talked about still getting some Christmas shopping in, man. It's getting a little tight now. You're down to a week and just a couple of days, so you better get busy.
Well, it may be tight, but if you look at the lines in the stores right now, there's a whole lot of people that are shopping right now. I mean, the lines are getting ridiculously long, but there's still a lot of shopping going on. And we talked yesterday about, voluntarily choosing where we put our money, voting with our money, if you will. And there's actually also a great app. I think it was called Second Vote. And Second Vote looks at all these companies that you might spend money with, and it tells you which of these companies support things like abortion or homosexual marriage or things that Christians may not believe in.
I don't want to support that.
No, you don't want to. But sometimes you do, not knowing that it's out there.
I should get the app.
You should get the app.
That's a great idea.
That's a good thing. Now, in a similar vein, we're at Christmas time, and we make the same decision with our money. And sometimes we end up putting money in stores that absolutely do not support Christ as part of Christmas. And so the naughty and nice list, we had Tim Wildman yesterday, and we'll have Mat Staver today, who has a different list, but the same kind of theme. And we can say, I don't think I want to put my money with these stores because they don't recognize what this holiday is all about.
And, it's interesting with the free market, with so much competition, it really is easy to find anything you're looking for at another store. There are so many stores out there. We're not limited. Well, I can only shop at this store. Now, maybe somebody's listening to us on a podcast and they're somewhere and literally there's only one store. Well, hopefully they support Christmas. But the reality is there's so many stores. And
but
by
they
the
can
way,
shop online.
I would say even online now.
That's right.
There are so many options that we are not limited to spending our money with someone who doesn't support the same views, doesn't support the same worldview, or supports different concepts that we don't want to contribute to that cause. And so really, it's great to know that we have options, but more specifically, to be educated to know that if I want to support someone who is supporting Christmas and supporting Christ in this holiday season, then these are the stores that I'm going to go to. And so it really is great to know who those stores are. But also, we're not limited in thinking, well, I can't go to that store now. Yeah, but you can find anything you're looking for somewhere else. So we're not in this niche where perhaps 20, 30, 40 years ago we might have been in. So it really is a blessing where we are today.
Well, and looking at the list that Mat Staver's put together out of Liberty Counsel, I was shocked. I mean, on the naughty list, in other words, those that don't recognize Christ. One of the things that Matt does so well is if you want to contact these folks, he gives you the email. Well, you had American Eagle Outfitters. I mean, that surprised me to be on the naughty list. And, well, of course, Polo and Ralph Lauren, that didn't surprise me. Radio Shack and TJ Maxx and Garmin, all these other companies that, wow, that's amazing that they're taking a recalcitrant position on even acknowledging what the culture acknowledges. Because, again, when we were talking yesterday, by margin of 4-1, Americans support Merry Christmas over Happy Holiday. That's not Christians that are doing. I mean, we're talking the nation itself. And for stores to ignore that voice, that seems. Now, the good news is, and I like the two programs we have because they each have some different lists, which helps you with your shopping possibilities. Guess who made the nice list?
I'm excited.
WallBuilders.
I saw that. WallBuilders not only made the list, man, it's like a 3-star list or three. What do you call these?
Now, I'm not quite sure why they would do that. It may be because we do things like this all year long. Go ahead, Justin.
I'm afraid we're losing listeners right now. Please don't go away.
Now, notice this. The little Lord Jesus. We actually play Christmas music and talk about Jesus. and we do that all year long, I wonder why we would be on the nice list and not the naughty list.
Absolutely.
So, but you got WallBuilders, and you got Belk's and Best Buy and Cabela's and Cracker
I was about
Barrel.
to say, I was so excited to find Cabela's on both lists.
I was too. I was.
Both the Mat Staver list and the Tim Wildman list.
And I was surprised to find things like Old Navy on there, Old Navy and J.C. Penney, because in other areas they're not real supportive of a biblical faith culture, but they are of Christmas. And so great, support them for Christmas. But it's great to have these lists. Now, Matt brings something to the table a little different from what Tim brings, and I love both of them and use their list, both of them. But Matt also brings the legal aspect. So, here we are, and schools are getting out this week, and if you've got a school that does something stupid like, hey, you can't celebrate Christmas, that's where you need to let Matt know, and he will get a hold of that school, and it may be too late to get it fixed this year, but we'll get it fixed by next year. And by the way, 79% of the nation believes that religious holidays should be celebrated in public schools. So this, again, is a very safe thing publicly for schools to do, but they get all this attack from, the fringe groups on the anti-religious secular side that say you can't do this. And yes, you can do this. Courts continue to rule that direction. So if you get a school or a city council or something else that refuses to move, get a hold of them. Let Matt help them. They can talk them through the legal side of this. And so Matt can also bring the legal force to bear to help get this stuff done in the right direction as well.
And David, you mentioned how easy it is to just click on the email link to contact those stores that are on the naughty list or the nice list. Let them know you appreciate them being on the nice list, and on the naughty list you want them to change. Doesn't take long, man. 3 minutes. And you can just let them know in a nice way, hey, Christmas is important to our family. Don't take it out. We don't forget who your audience is and who your customers are. We want to keep shopping with you, but not if you're going to ignore Christmas.
Exactly right. And it's an easy thing to do. And, hopefully that information over the last couple of days will be helpful. And if you've already done your shopping this year, just kind of mark these sites for next year. And when you do your shopping, if it's, and I've never figured why they call it Black Friday. I mean, why would the day after Thanksgiving be black? And that's when retailers make most of their money in the year is on Black Friday. So I don't know.
That's if you catch that elbow from that mama in front of you that's trying to get to that door faster than you, and you get knocked out. That's it.
That may be, but it's like, do they really think that we think that they're taking a beating on that by giving sales? No, they don't take a beating. But nonetheless, even if you start shopping at Black Friday next year, you'll know the stores that you can look at that are going to be supportive of Christmas, and patronize them. Do good things for them. Reward them.
It's called the Friend or Foe Christmas Campaign. They have another naughty and nice list for you to take a look at Liberty Counsel. We'll have a link for you at wallbuilderslive.com, so you can jump over there real quick, send the emails to those companies, and let them know where you stand. Mat Staver will be with us when we return right here on WallBuilders Live.
This is David Barton with another moment from America's history. Although education has remained an emphasis in America for nearly 200 years, what has changed the most over that period of time is the philosophy of education. For example, while religion finds no place of refuge in our schools today, such was not the case at the time of our founding fathers. In fact, when the Delaware Indian chiefs brought their youth to be trained in America's schools, on June the 12th, 1779, George Washington told them, "You do well to wish to learn our arts and our way of life, and above all, the religion of Jesus Christ. These will make you a greater and happier people than you are. Congress will do everything they can to assist you in this wise intention." According to George Washington, what students learned above all in American education at the time of the Founding Fathers was the religion of Jesus Christ.
For more information on God's hand in American history, contact WallBuilders at 1-800-8-REBUILD.
Let the torch of freedom burn.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us here on WallBuilders Live. Our guest today, our good friend Mat Staver from Liberty Counsel, the website lc.org. You can go there to find out more. Matt, always good to have you, brother.
Good to be with you.
Hey, wanted to get you back for a Christmas show here. We've been talking about the naughty or nice list for Christmas as people go out and do all their shopping. There's some stores that celebrate Christmas with us and others that completely leave Christ out of this very special time of the year. What got you guys interested in putting this out there? I know you deal with the legal side of it, but what made you think about the shopping side of it and encouraging people to know where they were going?
Well, the reason why is several years ago we had a situation involving Christmas trees, and you couldn't find a Christmas tree, even though it only celebrates one particular holiday. It doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, or the New Year's. It celebrates Christmas. These stores began to rename not only the Christmas tree, but there was no mention of Christmas at all. And even in one particular major national retailer, they had a magazine advertising different kinds of gifts that you could get, a whole page to Hanukkah, an entire page to Kwanzaa. And you would think when you flipped over, here's Christmas. No, it's holidays. There's a holiday wreath, holiday tree, holiday lights. It just became absurd. So we began to let people know. Go to shop those places that acknowledge Christmas, and then tell them why you're not shopping at these other places that profit off Christmas while pretending it doesn't exist. And that's how it ultimately started. And a huge sea change has occurred over the last several years when people make their shopping dollars count.
Yeah, and especially if that part you just mentioned, letting them know, the ones that are keeping Christ in Christmas, encouraging them and thanking them for that. The ones that aren't, politely let them know why you're choosing to shop somewhere else.
Yes, and so what we did was we've encouraged people to be polite, but let these retailers know. In fact, if you're in a store and they're playing Christmas music, or even for the simple thing of having a Christmas tree or having Christmas decorations or saying Merry Christmas, tell the cashier, tell the manager that you appreciate the music, that you appreciate their decorations, that you appreciate them acknowledging Christmas. It goes a long way. And on the other hand, if you're in a store that doesn't, then tell them why you're going to not shop there. You're going to go to their competition. You can also email them. We've got links on our website, the Naughty Nice List. You can email these retailers. You can make a phone call. You can make your voice known, make a big impact.
It's super, super easy to do. In fact, even in the first segment while we were on, we were clicking on the links and sending emails to those that we normally shop at that had made the naughty list and saying, hey, here's why we're going to go somewhere else this year. So it's very quick, very easy to do, folks. You can go to lc.org. That's Liberty Counsel at their website and find out more, or we'll have a quick immediate link at wallbuilderslive.com to make it easy as well. Matt, why does this matter in the big picture in terms of a culture? Why does it matter to acknowledge God and acknowledge Christ in Christmas?
Well, I think it really matters because you develop a secularization, and when it becomes obvious that it's Christmas and then you pretend that it doesn't exist, you rename it, but everything else is okay, it really begins to send a message, not only to our young people, but to all of us, that if it's Christian particularly, it does not belong in the public square. It is offensive. It's awful. You have to keep it quiet. And that, I think, begins to bleed over into the public sector when we become so secularized. We've seen it happen in communist countries, for example. They began to change the songs that are Christmas-related to more secular, and it begins to bleed over. So I think it's very, very important that we become vigilant. In fact, David Barton looked at our Naughty and Nice list. He found one of the retailers there, Tractor Supply Company, that he and others do a lot of business with or shop, and they know other people that do. They contacted him. David himself got involved, contacting them, and guess what? They now moved from the naughty side to the nice side. So if you go there now, you'll see Tractor Supply Company on the nice side of the list.
Yeah, I actually was surprised at that. I got an email back from them within I sent one as well and got it back. Yeah, it was probably 24 hours. And they were, hey, sorry, we didn't realize, we didn't notice, we want to fix it. So it works. It works. If they will listen. Your dollars matter to them, even if they're not with you in your philosophy and all those things. Your dollars matter in the marketplace.
These companies will change in most respects. The dollars do matter to them. Now, there's a handful that's on the naughty side. You'll see them, and it's a small minority. And they are intentional. They're digging their heels in. But we still need to give them our message because, again, they can move, and you'll see the difference when you compare that nice side, which is very long, to the naughty side. Make your voice known. It does make a difference.
Our guest today is Mat Staver from Liberty Counsel, their website, lc.org. You can get to their naughty or nice list by going to our website today at wallbuilderslive.com. We're going to take a quick break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. By the way, Merry Christmas. Right back on Wall Builders Live.
This is David Barton with another moment from America's history. Joseph Story is one of the most important names in American jurisprudence. Not only was he placed on the U.S. Supreme Court by President James Madison, but he also founded Harvard Law School and authored numerous legal works on the Constitution. While today's revisionists claim that the goal of the First Amendment was absolute religious pluralism, Justice Joseph Story vehemently disagreed. He declared, "The real object of the First Amendment was not to encourage, much less to advance, Mohammedanism or Judaism or infidelity by prostrating Christianity, but was to exclude all rivalry among Christian denominations." According to founder Joseph Story, Christianity, not pluralism, was the goal of the Founding Fathers in the First Amendment, for only a Christian nation is tolerant and thus is truly pluralistic.
For more information on God's hand in American history, contact WallBuilders at 1-800-8-REBUILD.
Let the torch of freedom burn.
Matt, let's talk a little bit about the bigger cultural questions and some of the battles you guys have to get involved in, where people are actually prevented, not just in the marketplace where they're making decisions to do this, and it's legal for them to do it, but we can certainly influence with our dollars and hopefully get it going back the right way. But in other places where people are preventing you from saying Christmas or celebrating Christmas, happens a lot in schools these days, where misinformed principals or teachers or whatever prevent a kid from saying Merry Christmas or from writing Christmas cards or from even, I remember one year we had a case where they couldn't have red and green in their Christmas play. I mean, it just gets absurd. How's that going? Is it getting any better this year?
Well, it does get better, because those were absurd examples. They are absurd examples. Unfortunately, they still pop up, and we have to constantly be involved. It's gotten so bad that, yes, you had more than one school telling the children, you can't have red and green because it's Christmas colors, and we can't have anything that even suggests Christmas. So in those particular situations, we have legal memos. We also write letters. We want to educate to make sure that they understand not only what is permitted, but what must be permitted. And then on the other hand, if after education that doesn't resolve the matter, then we will litigate. So we've litigated in some of these different areas and been very successful. We need to push back, and I think we can make some big headway, because I can tell you what, the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the ACLU, these others, they're sending out letters that are threatening, oftentimes misrepresenting what the law is. And if we don't push back, if we don't not only push back but provide free legal defense when necessary and also litigation where necessary, then the other side will win by default.
Man, there's so much in what you just said. Let's unpack that a little bit. The other side sends out these threatening letters, like you mentioned, and often the teacher or the principal or even the school attorney, who doesn't specialize in this area, gets afraid and says, "Hey, let's just play it safe and let's just not let anybody say anything or come anywhere close to Christmas." And that has worked for the left for years. And what has turned that is when guys like you are able to do exactly what you just described and come alongside that school or that teacher or that family in order to stand up to these misrepresentations. And that has been what's changed it. That's why we're beginning to win so many of these battles, because we have folks like you. But as you said, sometimes you got to do it for free. So people need to, that maybe aren't having to fight that battle at home, can help fight that battle nationally by helping you guys do what you do. What's the best way for them to contribute to you guys? I know you didn't come on today for us to do that, but I want people to know what they can do to help save Christmas this year.
Well, they can go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org. That's lc.org, and they can make an online contribution right there to Liberty Counsel. It's a nonprofit, tax-exempt organization. They can also call toll-free 800-671-1776. That's 800-671-1776 or lc.org.
And the end of the year, tax-deductible contribution, now's a good time to do it. Now, Matt, what about the person that's in that situation? Maybe it's their kid that's facing this at school or in their community somehow. What do they do to contact you if they need help in fighting that battle?
Well, just call the same toll-free number again, 671-1776. So just remember 671, and you've got it. 800 obviously is toll free. 1776, you ought to remember that. So 671-1776, and let us know, because if we don't know, we can't get involved. If we know, however, we'll get involved, and oftentimes, more often than not, we can make a difference and make a change. You can be a catalyst. May not be you, maybe somebody else you know, maybe something that came up in the local newspaper or on the radio as you're driving to work, and you hear about it, something that's taking place at City Hall. Give us a call so we can get involved. We need to be very proactive.
What's the trend right now, Matt, as you've watched these cases and litigated these cases over the years? Better, worse, kind of neutral? It's just kind of part of the ongoing battle for freedom? I mean, what's your take on it?
Well, in some respects, it's better than it was a little while ago, but you have to constantly be vigilant. You can't ever take ground that you've gained for granted. Moreover, we're having a few different kinds of situations where if it's a nativity scene that a city hall puts up on the property, you have the Freedom from Religion Foundation or some atheist groups that come in and they say, we want a sign or a display that says, God is dead, or there is no God, something like that. Something that's just completely bizarre, has nothing to do with the holidays. We need to educate the city governments or other government leaders that that's not consistent with the holiday. You don't have to put it up because it's not a holiday message. It's a derogatory message. It may be their viewpoint, their opinion, but you can't just simply put it up because they want it up. If they have something to contribute regarding the holiday, that may be a different story, but that has nothing, zero to do with the holiday. So we can get involved and stop some of those absurd things that these atheist organizations are promoting.
Mat Staver of Liberty Counsel, our guest today, one of the greatest organizations in the country for fighting those battles for our religious liberties and other freedoms. They just do amazing work, and we're thrilled to have them with us today. So stay with us. We'll be right back here on WallBuilders Live.
Hey, this is Tim Barton with WallBuilders. And as you've had the opportunity to listen to WallBuilders Live, you've probably heard the wealth of information about our nation, about our spiritual heritage, about the religious liberties, about all the things that makes America exceptional. And you might be thinking, as incredible as this information is, I wish there was a way that I could get one of the WallBuilders guys to come to my area and share with my group, whether it be a church, whether it be a Christian school or public school or some political event or activity. If you're interested in having a WallBuilder speaker come to your area, you can get on our website at www.wallbuilders.com, and there's a tab for scheduling. And if you'll click on that tab, you'll notice there's a list of information from speakers' bios to events that are already going on, and there's a section where you can request an event to bring this information about who we are, where we came from, our religious liberties and freedoms. Go to the WallBuilders website and bring a speaker to your area.
This is David Barton with another moment from America's history. Revisions today often assert that our founding fathers were atheists or agnostics or deists. This charge is not new. In fact, Patrick Henry was even called a deist in his lifetime. Clearly, no one could question his patriotism, but Henry was hurt that they would question his Christianity. Against the charge that he was a deist, Patrick Henry thundered, "Deism with me is but another name for vice and depravity. I hear it is said by the deists that I am one of their number, and indeed that some good people think I am no Christian. This thought gives me much more pain than being called a traitor. Being a Christian is a character which I prize far above all this world has or can boast." Patrick Henry was quick to refute the charge of deism and to declare his open belief as a Christian.
For more information on God's hand in American history, contact WallBuilders at 1-800-8-REBUILD.
Let the torch of freedom burn.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us today on WallBuilders Live. You can find out more about our program at our website, wallbuilderslive.com, and also at wallbuilders.com. And by the way, at wallbuilderslive.com, you can get a list of all of our stations across the country. If you're listening online today, we're going to have links at the website, wallbuilderslive.com, to get more information about Liberty Counsel, to get to their naughty and nice list, to their contribution page, so you can help them stand beside you and others across the nation in defending our religious liberties and defending our heritage. and also find out about some of these cases that they're already fighting. And speaking of the cases that you guys are currently fighting, I know, Matt, you guys are dealing with cases from parental rights to religious liberty issues to some of these Christmas cases. I mean, all across the board. But 2015 is going to be interesting as well. Would love to get a preview from you real quick on what you see in 2015 for you guys, maybe some of the top cases or just what you're really going to be focused on at Liberty Counsel.
Well, I think some of the top issues are the collisions that we're seeing that are going to be increasing between religious freedom and the issue of homosexuality or same-sex marriage. We are going to see these of unprecedented numbers and proportions, and we're going to have to be involved. This, I think, can be a defining moment for our country. And I think if the church gets involved, if we pray and we ultimately seek God, this can be a defining moment where adversity becomes opportunity. So 2015 will be very, very critical in that moment in history.
lc.org is the website. The phone number, once again, Matt, for all of these, and if because you may end up in one of those cases in the marketplace as a small business owner where you're being asked or forced perhaps by government to do something that's completely against your conscience, and you're going to need legal counsel for that. So for that type of thing, for the Christmas situations, to learn more about the naughty and nice list, all these things. One more time on that phone number, Matt.
800-671-1776. Again, it's 800-671-1776.
And the website, lc.org. Mat Staver, always good to have you, brother. Thanks for all that you do, and thanks for taking time to share with us today on WallBuilders Live.
Thanks, Rick. My pleasure to be with you.
You've been listening to WallBuilders Live.
We stand undivided.